Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janarandana Yashodanandana Vraja Janarandana Yashodanandana Vraja Janarandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jai Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jai Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगतगुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So we are reading from Canto 10, Chapter 32, entitled The Reunion, text number 9 and 10. So I will chant text number 9 and text number 10 as a purport, so that we will chant responsively. Sarvāstha keśavāloka paramotsava-nirvṛtāḥ jahur viraha-jaṁ tāpaṁ prājñaṁ prāpya yathā janāḥ. Word by word meaning. Sarvāḥ, all. Tha, those. Gopīs, Keśava of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Āloka, by the sight. Parama, supreme. Utsava, of festivity. Nirvṛtāḥ, feeling joy. Jahuḥ, they gave up. Viraha-jaṁ, born of their separation. Tāpaṁ, the distress. Prājñaṁ, a spiritually enlightened person. Prāpya, achieving. Yathā, as. Janāḥ, people in general. Translation: all the gopīs enjoyed the greatest festivity When they saw their beloved Keśava again, they gave up the distress of separation, just as people in general forget their misery when they gain the association of a spiritually enlightened person. Text 10. Tabir viduta sokhabhir Tabir viduta sokhabhir Bhagwan achyuto vrita Bhagavan achyuto vrita Vyarochadikam tata Vyarochatadikam tata Purusha shaktibhir yathā Purusha shaktibhir yathā Tabir viduta sokhabhir Bhagavan achyuto vrita Vyarocadikam tata Purusha shaktibhir yathā Tabir viduta sokhabhir Bhagavan achyuto vrita Vyarocadikam tata Purusha shaktibhir yathā
Tabir viduta sokhabhir Bhagavan achyuto vrita
Vyarocadikam tata Purusha shaktibhir yathā
Tabir viduta sokhabhir
Tabir viduta sokhabhir Bhagavan achyuto vrita Vyarocadikam tata Purusha shaktibhir yathā Tabir viduta sokhabhir Bhagavan achyuto vrita
Vyarocadikam tata
Purusha shaktibhir yathā Mataji. Tabir viduta sokhabhir Bhagavan achyuto vrita Vyarocadikam tata Purusha shaktibhir yathā Tabir viduta sokhabhir Bhagavan achyuto vrita Vyarocadikam tata Purusha shaktibhir yathā Tabir viduta sokhabhir Bhagavan achyuto vrita Vyarocadikam tata Purusha shaktibhir yathā. Word by word meaning. Tabi, by these gopīs, with bhuta, fully cleansed, sokhabhi, of their distress, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Achyuta, the Infallible Lord, Vrita, surrounded, Vyarocata, appeared brilliant, Adhikam, exceedingly, Tata, my dear King Parikshit, Purushaha, the Supreme Soul, Shakti-bhi, with his transcendental potencies, Yathā, as. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Encircled by the gopis, who were now relieved of all distress, Lord Achyuta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, shone forth splendidly. My dear King Krishna thus appeared like the super soul, encircled by his spiritual potencies. Please repeat. Encircled by the gopis, who were now relieved of all distress, Lord Achyuta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, shone forth splendidly. My dear King, Krishna thus appeared like the super soul, encircled by his spiritual potencies. Purport. The gopis are Lord Krishna's internal potency, and therefore, when they were relieved and happy again, the Lord shone forth even more brilliantly than before, and his transcendental bliss increased. Krishna loves the gopis with pure transcendental love, and they love him in the same pure way. The whole affair, conducted on the transcendental platform, is inconceivable to those bound in material existence. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, as we have been hearing since last few weeks that this 10th canto is the smiling face of the Lord, and it's inconceivable to understand or it is not in our capacity to understand the pastimes of the Lord. But as we are receiving from the acharyas, we read it and try to understand the purport or the inner meanings of the pastimes performed by the Lord. And of all the pastimes, what we are reading now is even more intimate and inconceivable. So here, the last sentence of the purport, it says that the whole affair conducted on the transcendental platform is inconceivable to those bound in material existence. So, what does it mean to those bound in material existence? We can understand that those having false hopes, independent of the Lord. Like yesterday, I was hearing from Panchgoda Prabhu that if it is better to be in tiger's cage than in some materialistic association. So this is something like that, having false hope that material association or engaging in things which are not connected to the devotional service will make us better in any way. So, false hope, as we read in Bhagavad-Gita, we are in the network of false hopes. Our desires are unlimited and we are trapped in this network. But from the scriptures we understand that only if we put our hope in Krishna, we will be never disappointed. All our endeavors, independent of the Lord, or all our hopes to enjoy, independent of the Lord's creation, will make us more and more entangled. So, if we want to progress in our Krishna consciousness, it is very, very important to follow this process where we develop deeper faith in connection with the activities which are pleasing the Lord. Sometimes we try to do things where from the beginning we think we are doing for the Lord, but somewhere our consciousness deviates and externally we are serving, but internally we have lost the connection with the process. Because, and the reason is our hopes in the material existence. So, to come out of this, it is very important to have a good association where they can repeatedly remind us that better to live in tiger's cage than any other place. I mean, in other words, it is better to give up your body than to be trying to be enjoying independent of the Lord. This is as simple as that. Not very complex to understand, but because of our intoxication with these false hopes and whatever temporary enjoyment we realize or gain, we continue to dive into more and more materialistic activities. But this is not what the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad-Gita is explaining to us. So conscientiously we have to be very present all the time that what is our goal. Like the gopīs, this pastime is very profound. Not that we will try to understand the relationship between the Lord and the gopīs, but at least the inference for us which can be applicable to our daily life, we should try to at least derive that from this pastime. So Krishna is the most expert in producing and bringing reciprocation not only with the advanced devotees but also with the neophytes. So we cannot think that, oh, I just joined, how can I relate with the Lord? Krishna is not like that. Krishna can relate with a small grass, with a small child, with a gigantic banyan tree. There is, as we keep hearing also, there is no material qualification required to understand Krishna. The only qualification required is to keep developing our faith and hope in the Supreme Lord. For this, we don't need anything. We just need this wonderful association of devotees who keep reminding us of the process. So, this is how wonderful Krishna is. He is expert in reciprocating even with the neophyte devotee. So, each and every devotee should be always eager to see hands of Krishna in his life. Whatever is happening with us in our daily life, we think that because my temple president is too heavy, is chastising me. But we have to learn to see the hand of Krishna. This is the point. Everything is in control of the Lord. This is what, by the time we reach 10th canto, this should be our mantra. That Krishna is this should be very, very clear to and easy to understand that Krishna is the controller. So, we have to, anything that happens, any adversities, tribulations, challenges that comes, it is the mercy of the Lord. The presence of Lord hand in everything that happens. We have to try to, or we should develop at least theoretically to think like this. If from the heart, from our intelligence we cannot understand it, but still theoretically like 2 plus 2, 4, 2 plus 2, 4, 2 plus 2, 4, and so we understand, okay, 2 plus 2 is 4. So same way, Krishna is the controller. Krishna is making things happen in this material world or spiritual world. Everything is just by sweet desire. So everything that happens to us is just because Lord wants it that way. We cannot tell that, oh, this Prabhu wanted it like that. So that is a limited understanding of the unlimited potency of the Lord. So it is very, very important to start thinking like this, that anything that happens to us is because of Krishna's intervention. So we should never think that Krishna will abandon us, or that we are good for nothing. Krishna never abandons anybody. On the contrary, even we are the most rebellious, Krishna is continuously making his plans how to rectify and correct us so that we again become surrendered to the Lord. How can a father abandon a child? It's not possible. So these wonderful qualities of Krishna, if we keep meditating on, if we keep discussing on, will only increase our love for the Lord. And then we can become more and more submissive. But because of our too much association with the materialistic minded people, we start contemplating or doing things the way the materialistic people are doing. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna is not like that. Somebody in a materialistic society might abandon us. You get lost, we don't want to see you, we don't want you. But Krishna can never do it. Krishna will never do it. So it is required to replace our thought processes or consciousness on the basis of Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, and start analyzing things from that perspective. Currently, because most of our training, education, association, environment is mostly materialistic people, so we analyze the things from their perspective, the perspective we are receiving from them. But we have to change that perspective. Krishna consciousness, if we want to progress, we need to change this perspective, wherein we start analyzing things on the basis of Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. So Rupa Goswami explains in Upadeshamrut, utsava, nischayat, dhairyat. So these three are very, very important for any sadhaka, to be always remain in full enthusiasm to serve the Lord, to be determined even despite of any challenges. We will continue and persevere to please the Lord, and with all patience. Patience means you will see hands of Krishna in everything, and you will realize that Krishna did it better than I could have done. So that is why patience is required. Sometimes we think, everybody should come for the morning program, and then we start pressing the buttons hard. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So we have to understand that Krishna has his own plan for everything, and if we have patience, gradually things will manifest if we keep doing the things rightly. So anybody who is interested with some services or responsibilities, if he is focused on the vows, if he is focused on the principles of devotional service, it is so contagious that everybody will start following it. So Srila Prabhupada said purity is force. Not anything else is force, only purity is force. So we have to understand this, that if you want to make things better, then a lot of patience is required. So utsahat, nischayat, dhairyat. So we should also try to be remembering the day when we joined Krishna consciousness. When we joined, it was like world was total dark for us, and we came in a new light. When somebody comes first time to Vrindavan, he's like mesmerized. Oh wow, beautiful deities, beautiful kirtan, wonderful devotees dancing. So that first impression which we got about Krishna consciousness, about the devotees of the Lord, is worth remembering every day. But because we become too familiar with the process now, that now we think, why should I go on, for the darshanartik, why for the mangal artik, sandhya artik class, this is every day same Bhagavatam. But it is not like, it is very dynamic. Krishna consciousness is not static. It is dynamic. Though it is the same pages we are reading again and again, as also we were discussing yesterday. Now even if we read it 100 times, every time we get new realizations. So it is not static. Nothing in Krishna consciousness is static. It is dynamic. So it is very, very important to stay focused and never lose hope in the process. When we lose our sensitivity, and the reason behind losing sensitivity is our lack of absorption in the process. When we start doing things mechanically, we are not sensitive, and we are just doing for the sake of doing. Though the process works, but we don't relish it, and we start the process appears to be burdensome sometimes. Like when Srila Prabhupada started this movement, all these wonderful devotees who are sitting with us today, they were absorbed in distributing books. And I mean, my temple president told me they were distributing 12 hours a day, sometimes 14 hours a day. Just imagine, now we calculate, now we see watch after a few hours. It's time for me to go and eat prasad. So the sensitivity to the process of devotional service means too much familiarity we feel, and the respect and the gratitude to the process is diminishing. So we should be very cautious about the situation we are in, and we should be always grateful and thankful that by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and his sincere followers, we got this opportunity to at least get connected to the process which can make our life, give us real bliss which we are looking for. We have tried enough to get this satisfaction in our life, but it's not possible unless and until we make bhakti as our career. Our life career means what they call profession. That is the career. Career is not the one which carries, but the kind of professional career we are talking. So bhakti is the only professional or the only career we all should be striving for. We don't want anything else, because anything else is not giving us anything anyhow. We might think that we are gaining something, but actually it is just slaughtering our consciousness day by day and making us only and only more competent to serve Maya and not Krishna. So it is very, very important that we remain focused on this process of devotional service. And one who keeps following these vows, Krishna will always reveal his hand. So we just have to be determined to follow the process, and gradually Krishna will reveal us his plan, and we keep acting according to the plan of the Lord. And Krishna only knows how to produce love. So now when we see this example of gopis, we might think, these gopis gave up everything, they left their homes, husbands, family life, children's, and they just came for the Lord in the middle of the night. And now Krishna is disappearing from the scene. So, but by disappearing, he intensified the absorption of the gopis, he intensified the love of gopis for the Lord. They could not but just keep thinking of the Lord. So anything that happens, the inference for us to understand is, anything that happens in our life is arrangement of the Lord, and that arrangement is just created to make us more Krishna conscious. Like these gopis, they were Krishna conscious, but Krishna intensified it more. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, the highest form of devotion for Krishna is the mood of gopis, in the mood of separation, vipralamba bhav. That is the topmost. So, with our materialistic understanding, we cannot relate to it. But if we understand this principle that whatever Krishna is doing is for our good, then now we analyze this. In case of gopis, then their love for Krishna was intensifying more and more. The highest expression of love was when Krishna was not with the gopis, not that when he was with the gopis. So Krishna knows how to produce love. We don't know. If we try to produce anything, it is just lust. We don't know it. Unless and until we follow the process of the Lord, we cannot produce love. We don't know how, we can't even relate what the word love means. So it is very important to come out of our paradigms or the consciousness we have acquired from this society and stay tuned with the principles given by the Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. So Srila Prabhupada very mercifully and very painstakingly has given this process to us, and at the age of 70 he left Vrindavan. We are hearing one lecture where he says, I was happy in Vrindavan, even now I miss Vrindavan when I am in New York, but it is my duty which brought me to New York, and so I am here as a duty to preach. But my heart is still in Vrindavan. So it is so very important to understand this mood of Srila Prabhupada and always remain grateful to the opportunity which we all have received of being in Vrindavan and having this wonderful association in Krishna Balram temple. So this process, as Lord Chaitanya gives, is we call it Panchang Bhakti, 5 limbs of devotion. So our reading Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting of the holy name, residing in the dham, and what are the other 2? Deity worship. Tulsi Maharani. But the main 5 is 5th, association of the devotees, yes. So these 5 Panchang Bhakti, we should just keep following. Now, if you keep following this Panchang Bhakti, then it will be easy to be always remaining present, that what is the goal of our life, and it will be easy for us to dovetail our consciousness the way Guru, Shastra and Sadhu wants, and this is what is expected from us. We can't be striving or trying to achieve more than this. If you just try to follow this Panchang Bhakti process, the process will ensure that we will achieve the goal of our life. So, here it is said that the gopis were in distress. In this shloka we read, they were in distress. But this distress is again not the distress we know about. We cannot say that, oh, Krishna made them suffer. No, Krishna is not like that. This distress or the pleasure we know is non-different. So in spiritual life, there is variety, but ultimately it leads to increasing your love for the Lord. That is the whole purpose. So this distress was also increasing the love of the gopis for the Lord. So we cannot analyze this distress as the distress we understand today with our current understanding, whatever we have derived. When we talk about distress means, oh, we need to go to the doctor, I am in stress. It's not that kind of a stress. It is not that kind of a distress which Krishna has arranged for the gopis. This is because they were focusing on their vows, they were focusing on the principles, then Krishna can only produce more and more love in their life. So this is the inference for us, that if we remain focused on following the vows and the principles, then all the arrangement that will be created will only intensify our love for the Lord, will only intensify our love for our gurus and spiritual masters, will only intensify our love for the devotees we are staying or serving with. It is very, very important for us to be following the vows and the principles. So we cannot say that the gopis were in stress. So in spiritual world, there are varieties, but they are all equal. They call it advaya gnana, equal. Everything will increase the love for the Lord, whether pleasure or distress. So, important to be remaining in the association of the devotees, because we cannot understand Krishna without the association of devotees. And similarly, we cannot understand devotees without the mercy of the Lord. This is also true. Sometimes we get bewildered looking to the action of Vaishnavas, but you require real mercy of the Lord to understand that. So both goes together. So here it is given also that Krishna shone forth even more brilliantly than before. So again, this is describing the dynamics of the spiritual life. That the more Krishna conscious we are, the more we are trying to please the Lord is more happy, and when He is more happy, the devotees are enjoying more. So this competition is in the mood of cooperation. This competition is not to defeat the other party. So again, our mindset of competition is to defeat, but the mindset of competition here is enhancing the happiness and joy of the devotee or the personality you are serving. So this is the dynamics of Krishna consciousness. So it's not that Krishna was less beautiful before and now he became more beautiful, but this is the dynamics we are talking about. That it keeps changing, and it is the variegatedness of Krishna consciousness. It is not that everything is just same every day. It's not like that. If you are absorbed in the process, then you realize and relish different nectar each day. Every day you realize new things, deeper understanding, deeper your faith deepens. So this is the inference we have to take when it is given that Krishna is shown more brilliantly. So we have to also keep analyzing. With the passing of the days, are we experiencing some additional joy in serving the devotees? Are we experiencing some additional joy in committing more time practicing devotional service? It's not, we are not time bound. Gopis were not time bound. The moment they heard the flute, they left everything, they didn't saw the time, it is middle of the night. No understanding, totally out of all those things, and they were just focused on service. So recently when His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj came, one devotee was asking that devotees are giving us too much service. What to do? How to say no? And Maharaj said, why you want to say no? You are chanting and asking for service, and somebody is giving service. Try to engage more in serving the devotees, serving the Lord. What is the problem? And then he added that sometimes we feel that they are exploiting me. And then Maharaj said, on spiritual platform, nobody can exploit you. When you are serving Krishna, it is not possible to exploit you. So this is again materialistic understanding which makes us think like this. It is not on the principles of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So from the example of gopis, we can relate that, the inference we can take is that we should be always committed and dedicated to increase our services to the Lord. Because we want to make this devotional service as our career. So Krishna conscious lifestyle is a lifestyle of doing devotional services. What else can we do? If we do anything else, then we are not Krishna conscious. So it is very, very important to remain focused on this aspect of Krishna consciousness, that it is dynamic, it is not stable, and if we remain absorbed in our practices, we will relish new and new things every day. Now, just imagine Krishna, who unconditionally wants to be merciful to us. He is unconditionally trying to arrange things so that our life improves. Still, we are not developing faith and hope in Him. What can be the reason of that? So one of the reasons we can understand is our sinful activities. Because of the sinful activities we are doing, knowingly, unknowingly, the faith and the hope, the kind of faith we should have on the Lord is not evolving or increasing or deepening because of our engagement in sinful activities. So it is very important that we have to stop doing any kind of sinful activities we are engaged in, and only then our hard-hearted heart can become soft. Because anything that is against the principle of Krishna consciousness will stop our heart from becoming softer. Anything that is contrary, we have to be so conscientious, so presence of mind every single time. We have to think and analyze things in this perspective, that is this action making me Krishna conscious or no? That presence of mind is very, very important. It's not for only while we are chanting or only when we are reading Bhagavatam class or when we are taking darshan, but this is 24 hours exercise. We cannot miss it even for a second. Not even for a second we can be lazy to be ignoring this aspect. So therefore, you cannot be effective if you are engaged in sinful activities. So to become effective, we need to be affectionate and sacrificing our wrong things, and then we can develop the softness of the heart. And for us to understand it in a simple way is our determination in executing the process of devotional service, nothing else. Don't think that we have to manufacture something new. It's as simple as that we have to follow the process of devotional services. We have to remain engaged to our chanting, class, darshan, 4 hours, and the remaining day should be engaged in doing some service to the Lord, to the devotees, cleaning the temple, anything that sounds you feel connected to, where you think that you are pleasing the Lord, you can do it, no problem. But it should increase your absorption for the Lord. That is very, very important thing we should monitor. Not that we want to be the center of the activity. Again, when we do devotional service, sometimes these challenges comes that we think that we are controlling, So we don't try to work as a subordinate, we try to work as the master. And we want to be in the center of things, we want to be controlling things, the things should be happening the way we want. But it only increases our attachment to the materialistic lifestyle. But the principle of Krishna consciousness is that Gopi Bhartur Pad Kamalyo Das Das Dasanudas. So our process is to become, if you follow the gopis, then the inference for us is to become servant of the servant of the servant. So in that you are free, no anxiety, because the master is taking responsibility. You don't have any anxiety to have now. The master is taking full charge of you. You are just surrendered to the master. So the gopis, they just surrendered. They were not thinking who will think what. Or if somebody is asking me to clean floor, I will clean the floor. What is the problem? Let somebody think that, oh, how come he is cleaning floor? He is educated person. Now he came to Vrindavan to clean the floor. We don't have to think like that. We just have to follow the process, and that will make our life more and more Krishna conscious. So these are the few inferences. There are more. The word achyuta has been used here, and I was hearing a class, and in that it was explained that the word achyuta, this name of Lord Kṛṣṇa is used as achyuta here in this pastime of Ras Leela maximum number of times. This specific word has been used many, many times. Achyuta, Lord is addressed as achyuta because he is infallible. Because then again, with our materialistic mindset, we understand that Krishna came under the modes of material nature. He was attracted to beautiful girls. But it is not like that. So Krishna is above the modes of material nature. He is the controller. The entire Prakriti works under his direction. So he cannot so this word again and again that he is infallible. These are all his energies. Energy and energetic. The relationship is between the energy and the energetic. They are one. And so it's not that Krishna has fallen down from a platform to enjoy materialistic lifestyle. But with our materialistic understanding, certainly most of the people analyze it like that. So it is very, very important to understand this part that Krishna is infallible, and not that he wanted to enjoy, but certainly he wanted to give a lot of enjoyment to these gopis. And Srila Prabhupada writes in Krishna book on this chapter that all these gopis, the gopis who were gathered there had almost all been followers of the Vedas. In this previous births, during Lord Ramchandra advent, they had been Vedic scholars who desired the association of Lord Ramchandra in conjugal love. Ramchandra had given them the benediction that they would be present for the advent of Lord Kṛṣṇa and he would fulfill their desires. During Krishna's advent, the Vedic scholars took birth in the shape of the gopis in Vrindavan as young gopis. They got the association of Krishna in fulfillment of their previous birth desire. The ultimate goal of their perfect desire was attained, and they were so joyous that they had nothing further to desire. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad-Gita. If one attains the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he has no desire for anything. When the gopis had Krishna in their company, not only all their grief, but their lamenting in the absence of Krishna was relieved. So this is what we are reading in this. They felt they had no desire to be fulfilled. Fully satisfied in the company of Krishna, they spread their clothes on the ground. Their garments were made of fine linen and smeared with red kumkum, which decorated their breast. With great care, they spared a sitting place for Krishna. Krishna was their life and soul, and they created a very comfortable seat for him. So the point is, these gopis were all scholars who met Ramchandra, and Lord Ramchandra couldn't fulfill their desire, so they appeared as gopis. So we can understand this achyuta, the word is very significant here because it describes the infallible character of the Lord. Thank you very much. Any comments?
So that we feel the stress and just unhappy. Krishna consciousness is a joyous process of opposite. There's Krishna consciousness, he's happy, So how is our distress different than what your experience, the gopis are experiencing distress, they come back to happiness? We could say, well, it's spiritual, but if they're feeling unhappy, they're distressed, and we're feeling distressed, and how's our distress going to be mitigated? And it might not be because we're forgetting Krishna, but obviously because we're forgetting Krishna, we're suffering, but it's not exactly the same thing.
Yeah, somebody might answer.
I'm sure they're going to answer.
1972. I agree with it, said the Prabhupada. How come I'm not happy? He joined 1966, yes? Prabhupada said, he said different things. He said, if you're not happy, you're not a devotee. But to him, he said, you have to see what it is you're not doing. Because Prabhupada said, if you follow the process, the result is there. He says, if you're not happy, there's something you're not doing that you should be doing. Or in the same way, something you're doing you shouldn't be doing. So it's all about the process. I think we see the more we engage in service, we actually become happy. But when we lose that consciousness, immediately we fall off.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Satisfied.
Thank you.
He's happy.
I'm not distressed anymore.
There, Shivam. There, here. So we need one more mic for Prabhu to answer.
You have to answer again.
Thank you for the last one. I want to ask one question, like how to save ourselves from the association of materialistic people, especially for those who goes out and do job and we have to deal with all the world. So how to save from that situation?
So similar question was asked to His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj, I think a couple of months back. And Maharaj said, why are you going out? If you know that it is detrimental to your Krishna consciousness, why you are going out? As simple as that. So we just need to correct our decision. Don't go out. Stay in association of devotees. And Krishna will take care. You want to add more? Here? Okay.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhu, you talk about services. Several services we do, because I've been hearing, like the day I joined ISKCON, that you have to do some service for Prabhupada. So the question is, when we do services, let's say we try our best to perform that service, but it's very natural when we do this service, some other kind of conflicts or some other things is going to happen. So externally, you may feel the service what we are doing is excellent, but internally, we may know that just to perform the service, I have to sometimes get into a conflict or sometimes I have to fight with my seniors. Just give an example. So all this service is really going to be beneficial when we don't do it the way it has to, and that's not going to please, it's not going to please the Guru or the Lord. So how do you define what kind of service is that? And it's not going to make Prabhupada ultimately not happy about it. Because the process is, they're not following the proper process for doing that service.
Yeah. So we can take example of like when we throw stones, 2 stones in the river, then there are the circles emanating, and none of the circle reach the end or on the side. But when we put one stone, the circle emanates and reaches till the end. So the point we can understand when we feel, and as you questioned that the conflicts are natural, but I feel the other way around. Actually, conflicts are artificial because we don't have our understanding that the purpose of service is to please the Lord, not to prove that who is right or who is wrong, and to move along the service for the pleasure of the Lord. But when we start viewing things on performance basis, when we are trying to achieve something, like if we relate to Bhagavad-Gita, we are recommended to be doing our duties, not meditating on the result, because result is in Krishna's hand. So with whatever effort and endeavor we put in, our objective or our goal should be to please the Lord and to please the Lord. When the objective is to achieve something, then it is very normal to have conflict. But as we were reading, also understanding today that a lot of patience is required when we are serving. Sometimes we are chasing certain things and it might not happen in the time we are planning to do it, because it is not in line with Krishna's plan maybe. So like yesterday we planned wonderful arrangement for Jagannath Mishra feast, and all of a sudden rain started. What could that plan do? We were helpless. And then people were standing out, and our planning was to start at 2, but we opened the door at 1:30. So we accepted that maybe Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to eat early today. And surprisingly, everybody started eating. Not that they said we will eat at 2, we are not hungry. Everybody took plate, everybody started eating. So the point I can understand from this is that when we chase something with our plans and mindsets not having enough patience and determination, conflict arises. But if we try to look it from a different perspective, whether that conflict will please the Lord or not. And so, like another example I heard in one class, that there is a traffic jam, which is quite normal in Vrindavan these days. Traffic all over, don't see what is there after half a kilometer. And somebody is telling, go back, somebody goes, go on the right. If you go, you will be trapped for 3 hours, better to go back. So many suggestions are coming. But there is somebody up there on the helicopter. He knows what is there on the right, left, which lane is empty, where to go. So if he guides you, you can be never wrong. So we have to be striving to get guidance from that higher authority when we feel that conflicting interests are coming and making our consciousness detrimental. Then because we are not gaining anything. Even if we achieve, even if we would have stopped that door for up till 2 o'clock, all the devotees would be standing out in the rain, soaking clothes. So the whole purpose of service would have been collapsed. So, I don't know whether it is clear, but thank you. Thank you very much.
Can you put petrol in my helicopter?
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।